Ah, yes, a video. That is definitely what this is. Glad you're here. This time the video starts from the very start of the drawing, so you get to see the whole process. How exciting. For you. I hope. I love drawing androgynous characters, so I had fun drawing this person. Huh, now that I think about it, people don't really use the word androgynous much anymore. Maybe we should bring it back. But yeah, I'm not much for coloring or painting. My weapon of choice is pencil. Good old fashioned pencil. Or actually, mechanical pencil. One of my friends bought me a case of wood pencils with different hardness, along with colored pencils, so now I'm trying to integrate those tools in my art. Old habits die hard, though. I always instinctively go for what I'm used to. Hopefully that changes. Especially because the colored pencils seem pretty good quality to me. Like the way they glide on paper is very smooth. I think I'd rather use color pencil to color than paint. I feel like painting is too much commitment. Obviously, I'm not using pencil right now, or painting, but you get what I'm saying. Traditional media is fun, but I feel like it's harder to share it unless you have a good camera. Most of the time, my traditional art ends up looking kind of poor because the camera work is not as advanced. That doesn't stop me, of course. But yeah, I started this channel because I felt like it's time I started doing the things I've always wanted. Like, even if my content is bad, I'm sure someone would appreciate what I do, even if it's just one person. I mean, a lot of content is pretty bad, but there's still an audience for it. Bad art is still art, am I right? Except AI art. AI art is not valid. That's not the definition of hollow, empty, soulless images. Images, yes. Art, no. I mean, maybe if AI ever gains consciousness and sentience or something, then yeah, maybe then those images will be art, but we aren't there yet. God, this world is crazy. It always has been, even though it feels crazier now as we progress, like in terms of technology and social and political issues. I won't go into depth, but it's just insane to me, like everything. Especially how we seem so advanced in one area, yet like we're in the dark ages in another. It's easy to feel powerless, and I won't lie, I definitely do. However, it's important to think about how everything is so relatively new. I don't think we were meant to be conscious of how many people are on the planet. It's overwhelming. Like I believe we still have tribal brains that are meant to only be interacting with small groups. So, while interconnectedness is fun and all, I feel like it's so stressful. Community is meant to be local, not global, in my opinion. Especially because then you start comparing yourself to billionaires and influencers with mansions and seemingly perfect lives, because then it's like, what do I have? Why don't I have what they have? What's wrong with me? So, yeah, it's a mess. And we can go further on beauty standards and other unreasonable expectations, but maybe later. It's just a nice thing to share whatever talent you have with others. I'm trying to get into learning an instrument to go off with another example, and I want to be able to make music even if no one really hears it. That's a far off goal though, since I'm literally just learning Ode to Joy on the piano. I'm not at a real level quite yet. And I also have a guitar too that I want to learn, but I haven't touched it in years. I guess this also stems from me wanting alternative music to be made by women. Well, not solely by women, but at least more women. They typically dominate like the pop genre, or at least they are now in this moment. And I just think that it would be cool to hear something different and more edgy coming from a person of the female sex. These are just dreams, but I don't know. I'm a firm believer that with enough dedication, you can accomplish a whole lot. It all boils down to having a fixed or growth mindset. Maybe you've heard about it, but just in case you haven't, a fixed mindset is pretty stagnant and limiting, and you might think something like, oh, I will never learn this, or people are just born with certain talents. Meanwhile, a growth mindset goes more like, if I put enough practice, I can be good at whatever it is I'm trying to do. It's like emphasizing the word yet. I can't play piano yet. I can't sing yet. Putting yet to the end of a defeated sentence might be more helpful in someone's thought process. However, and I don't know why, but I'm not really a fan of saying, I will do this. I will get an A in class. I am going to give an excellent presentation. And like repeating it like a mantra. I don't know why, but I had a hard time doing that, even though they recommended it in my university's mental health counseling. And as funny as it may sound, I feel like it's not my style. I always say, hey, maybe I will pass. Maybe my presentation will turn out well. Just to sort of keep it open or something. Like maybe it's less, oh, the glass is half full or half empty, and more like, just drink the water, dude. Take things for how they really are, at least as much as possible. And I know it's hard to do that when you're a biased human being, of course, but I feel like it's a worthy pursuit. Yeah, I'm trying not to be so negative about things. I hate when really negative people like say they're realists. Low-key kind of upsets me. And I'm not super positive either. I just think that self-awareness goes a long way, and I bet we all should strive for that. Man, this video is kind of long. If you're still here, thank you so much. I don't really know what else to talk about to BH. Maybe I can just talk about my feelings. Being 25 is interesting. Your brain fully develops, I hear, but do I feel fully developed? Not really. But growth happens even as you leave your youth. That is perhaps not physically, but emotionally. At least that's what one of my college textbooks says. Sometimes I wonder about the legitimacy of textbooks and informational sites where authority is given to experts. Like, I trust it all for the most part, but at the end of the day, we are just humans coming up with explanations for what we observe. There's evidence and research, of course, but most everything seems like guesswork. Educated guesswork, but guesswork nonetheless. I wonder what we are getting wrong. When we see that we were wrong about so many things before, it makes me wonder just how wrong we are about things today. And that's the beauty of science. It is ever evolving and it changes to accommodate new information, like updates. One could argue that this is not a good thing because it is not fixed and is more fluid. On the other hand, I think that's what makes it so strong. The world is ever changing and you can't cling to antiquated beliefs because they just won't apply anymore. You need new theories, new explanations, new ways of viewing things. Sorry, I think I'm going a bit off target here. I definitely am a science major. This sort of stuff is central to my belief system, maybe even my identity. How does this connect to art, you may be wondering? I don't know, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's related with how the brain works, what we feel when viewing and making art. How art elicits a reaction in a person has a lot to do with the individual's brain, no? Perhaps it's chemistry. I'm sure you can make several connections between art and science, like some sort of web. Maybe another topic for another day. Maybe we should talk about something else. I hope I'm not rambling too much. Let's get personal. Some fun facts. As of today, I've never had a real relationship, for example. Unless you count the one I had with my gay bestie in the 7th grade, or the one I had at 18 for like a maximum of 2 weeks. Nothing serious. I hope that's not, or I wonder if that's a red flag at my age. Sometimes I wonder if I'm weird or something. I think I'm just a late bloomer. Why rush things? Do things at your own pace and remember to be yourself, I guess. How do you even do that? Well, that's a great question. I guess just don't force yourself to act unlike your natural behavior. Yeah, there we go. I think it's important for people to be themselves, to do things they want so long as there's no damage being done onto others. Some may say that's how society falls, but why should you care? Why should you have to compromise? Especially when it's shown that society seems to not care about you. At the end of the day, just do you. And I guess this drawing kind of exemplifies that. I like to draw what makes me happy, and I believe that if you like to be gender ambiguous, then that's pretty cool. I like when people are truly themselves and just the way they want, as a form of self expression. And even if you like to wear things more typical of your gender, that's totally cool too, as long as you're being yourself. I don't think you are corrupted or a corrupting society. What corrupts society is a lack of healthcare, quality education, and general disregard for pressing issues like public safety or the environment. But what matters most is that you make the best out of it. Just try and be a good person. Defend yourself when needed and try to be a rational adult. That is, if you are one. And try to enjoy life as much as you can. I didn't think I was going to get deep this video, but here I am. I don't want to get overly political on this channel because it doesn't really feel my style. Maybe I could start doing that eventually, but for now, I want to keep things casual. I don't really want to start heat or make controversial statements, but if that happens, then so be it. It's hard to get deep and not seem to have a political leaning of some sort. Like, even normal statements might be political somehow, even when maybe they were nonpartisan before. But anyway, the drawing is nearly finished. I think she looks pretty cool right now. I might revisit it later and make some changes, probably on the hair or something. Maybe even color it, but for now she is practically good to go. If you stuck around this long, thank you for hearing me yap and showing an interest in my art. Please leave a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe.